The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
It's showtime.
That is right. It is showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another great episode here at Circle Debate Podcast, episode 116, 116. The host, Steve, is one obviously here with me, Familia, the greatest four faction of all time, the five horsemen of podcasting. If you guys saw our IG, we're fucking the BCC right there of podcasting. I tell you that. That is right. And according to going to introduce my other host, according to Mr. De Niro, con el dinero. That's why he has the last name De Niro. He is your WrestleMania World Champion for OTT.
Big money. Big money.
He is Mr. Delorean. Big money. Mike De Niro.
What's good, everybody? I'm glad to be here tonight. Excited to talk about this Dynamite.
Oh, I think we are. And especially this guy, especially Mr. With his invisible hand. And there he is. I knew it.
He got the glasses, too.
Oh, yeah. It definitely absorbs me. And I'll definitely say this, Ivan. You know, it's wonderful to be back with the god of professional wrestling. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's that's definitely kicked his ass. No, but I'll say this. The BCC of wrestling, doesn't the BCC theme kind of sound like She-Wolf by Megadeth? It sounds like da, 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 da. You know, well, not the BC, the Wheeler Yutas theme sounds like it a little bit. She-Wolf by Megadeth. I have to remove it from my brain.
Mr.
Not
MGC
all the time.
Not Callis. And of course, the director that directs you everywhere, especially to see this incredible, fantastic, phenomenal. I can say a lot of things about it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only, the director himself, Chris Kennedy.
I don't do impressions. I leave them.
Ooh, shots fired. Happy birthday, Courtney, in the chat, too. And you're
That's
in
right.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Courtney. Thank you so much for
How do y'all know
time.
it's their birthday?
And yeah, and I told you, Noah stood no
happy
chance. I was
birthday,
going to
Courtney.
defend that title.
Happy
Happy birthday,
Courtney.
nonetheless. I didn't know that. So yeah, dope.
Yes, absolutely. All right, before we get into Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen, just very quick, brief news. It doesn't matter much, but I mean, there's a lot of things that Papa H is doing. He's making moves. So let's go with the first one that he did. Jeff Jarrett is no longer in WWE. He's gone as the VP of live events. So now Road Dogg took over that position. And now he's back at WWE. And Papa H is bringing, it looks like DX is running the show. We have Shawn Michaels running NXT. Now you have Road Dogg running the live events. I mean, are we going to see, Sean Waltman probably coming up soon? I don't see the click.
That'd be dope to see Sean Waltman in the Matt Bloom position.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But give us your take, director. I mean, do you feel bringing Road Dogg back again and not being in charge of live events, and hopefully we might see him get involved with NXT again with Shawn Michaels? You mentioned Sean Waltman. What would you do if you bring in Sean Waltman?
Well, like I said, I would put him. I don't know what he wants to do. First of all, have that conversation. I mean, having somebody, I don't know who's still down at NXT Full Sail doing the training. I don't know if it's Matt Bloom, and I think it's been years since Sarah D'Amato's been down there, so I don't know who's back there. Bringing Jesse James back, Road Dogg. He's been talent scout before, right? That was his job, right? He was literally like on the road looking for new talent in smaller venues. So he has experience doing this. I know that he's kind of been on AEW's asshole a little bit, like, hey, y'all got any more of them jobs? So he's a little back and forth on what I believe the dirt sheets say he wants to do. But I know if Trips trusts him, then I don't have any complaints until I see the results of what position and actions are handled. So right now it's basically it's like watching combination of Swerve and Ride Along, where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just going. RP the network.
Matt Ellis.
You know, I gotta say that originally I wanted Jeff Jarrett to be Cody Rhodes' manager. Like, but he's not in WWE anymore, and he could be somebody's manager. He could add a little bit of spice to whatever recipe you're adding Jeff Jarrett to. But in the meantime, I don't know. He could, for all we know, he could end up in the Freddie Prinze Jr. promotion as Commissioner Jeff Jarrett.
Oh my God.
He could come back to NW.
Freddie did good things for the 2 weeks he worked there. Okay.
He did. I'm not hating on Freddie. I'll tell you that for sure.
He solved a lot of mysteries too with Scooby and them.
Yeah.
He could come back to NWA.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
Former 6-time champion. I just think it's funny how, if you remember back in the day when Jeff Jarrett was Double J, you had Road Dogg, who was the guy who was actually singing his song, and that was the roadie. And then when Jeff Jarrett left to WCW, he was replaced by Jesse James as the real Double J. So he's getting replaced once again by Double J, which is funny. But I mean, I think that it's a good move for Road Dogg. I just didn't want to see Jeff Jarrett get replaced so quickly. I think he doesn't get the respect he deserves. He was a talent scout. Well, Jeff Jarrett was a talent scout for the early days of TNA, especially. He was the guy who wanted to get guys like AJ Styles signed and guys like Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, some of the guys that people never really heard of at the time. So I always thought that in this position, Jeff Jarrett would have been really good. But, we didn't really get to see what he could do because it only lasted like a month. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But definitely, I'm down for all of DX coming back and getting backstage roles. We know Billy Gunn's not going to be a part of that. But if Sean Waltman comes, I think for sure he's a great mind for wrestling. I listen to his podcast, and he has a lot of great insight. So I'm all down for Sean Waltman coming too. Cassius Faye, what up? Shout out to LOG Music.
Yo, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in.
King Huey.
Before we move on, I'm gonna leave you guys with this. It's like Road Dogg, Snoop Dogg. They both use Dio Double Jizzo, Ray J, Jeff Jarrett, JJ. You could call him Ray.
JJ Dillon.
Call him
JJ Dillon.
You could call him Ray, or you could call him Jay, or you could call him Johnny, or you could call him Junie, or you could call me Raymond Johnson Jr. No. I'll leave it at that.
And of course, we have the next call-ups. Of course, Papa H is making these moves, man, and that is the return of Johnny Gargano, and also moving Legado del Fantasma from NXT to the main roster. And this is like another two incredible things that Triple H is doing right now, and especially bringing Gargano back. Of course, they asked Gargano, so what made you come back? Of course, he knew that with Papa H now being in charge, and he left a legacy in WWE, especially in NXT, one of the pioneers for the black and gold era. And what better at the right time to come back and knowing that Triple H could put him in a good place, in a good position in the main roster. However, a little bit on the IWC community has been backlash. Okay, what are you going to do with him now? Okay, are you going to put him with Ciampa? Why are you putting him with Theory? And this Theory hasn't even challenger, the belt. I mean, we haven't seen him cashing it in, the opportunity again. And besides for Legado, I think everybody's excited. I'm excited because now, please make it happen, wrestling gods. Make Dominic Mysterio be the heel, the one who can lead this faction. Make it LWO.
LWO for life, dude.
Thank you. That's
Shout
right.
to LWO.
Oh man, and add fucking Garza and Humberto Carrillo to that faction.
Facts.
Oh my god, you
Facts.
at that? Oh my god, yes, I could tell you that would be amazing. But I'll take it to you, director. Give us your thoughts overall with these two amazing return and a call-up.
Yeah, Gargano's been gone since January, sitting at home with forget his kid's name. Him and Candice LeRae's child. It's a cool name. It's like Onyx or Lucas or some shit. Some cool name that a wrestler would definitely give his kid. I do not know. I don't think Gargano would be back if Cody Rhodes is still around. I think this is filling that top good guy spot right now. I think he saw a hole in face roster, and Gargano might have been on a timeline to come back. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of, I don't want to say soon. It's been like 9 months, but I think this is filling the Cody Rhodes hole for sure. as far as Legado coming back or coming over, I mean, Vince hated two things: factions and women in factions, and this is the best of both. I don't want to add like 9 people to it. I feel that's too much. I hated the corporate ministry. I hate like even Dark Order at some point was too many people. So adding Carrillo and the other gentleman, I forgot his name.
Angel Garza.
Yeah, Garza. To make it 6, and then Dominic is like the 7th and the leader, where it already has a leader. It's just might be too much. Then you put all the Latinos in one faction, and that kind of seems a little, in my opinion, weird. Kind of is like putting all the women in a Royal Rumble match just to get them out the way. That's just how I feel. We'll see what happens. And then also we're bringing up putting Johnny versus Theory. I mean, they were homies in NXT. Now it could just be like, I'm the top dog up here, and I have the experience, and you're the veteran who's coming into my yard. That's not a bad storyline.
Yeah, indeed. I love that. Hell yeah, I love that. Oh, man.
But yeah, Dom is a heel. Grow a beard out, grow his hair out. I don't know. Get more tattoos. Get
man, hell yeah. Oh,
like,
my God.
I'm not body shaming at all, but Dom could get a little tan. He can get a little thicker. Obviously, he's only like 20, so he still has a man strength to develop. But that version of Dom would be pretty funny because he's already talked more in this run on the mic than Ray has his entire career.
That's a fact.
Love it. Matt Callis.
I'll say about Johnny Gargano, we're going to get to hear those Johnny Wrestling chants again. Johnny Wrestling. Yeah. And it'll be cool seeing that in bigger venues, in larger stadiums. That'll be awesome all over. So I'm excited to hear that and all. And Legado del Fantasma, when I think back, I actually just rewatched The Phantom. That's kind of where it came from, right? Some of the name.
Shut it, Zane.
No, not necessarily, because his father was El Fantasma, and so he was el hijo del Fantasma, and CML and AAA. So he got that from his father. That's why he wears that gold necklace of the mask, representing his father's legacy and his legacy when he was wearing the mask. So it was just that's legendary. Legendary group, right?
I wonder if the original El Fantasma came from the comic book and the pulp radio show, because that's actually even older than that. That's like that was like the 1920s, and it was like a comic book too, and a book as well. It's like, oh, it's the Phantom, But yeah, Brian, what's his Zane? I forgot his name. Billy Zane. Yeah,
it was a terrible movie.
Yeah, Billy Zane.
Don't do it.
When I was a kid, I had the ring. I had the skull ring, and I was like,
worse than the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I promise you.
I lost 2 teeth after that movie came out. I lost 2 of my baby teeth after that movie came out. Yeah, I'm serious. We played hard back then. Little kid tripped me.
That bastard.
De Niro.
I'm just excited for all this. Starting with Johnny Gargano, I'm glad that he's back, especially working under Triple H. I don't think he would have lasted long on the main roster if Vince McMahon was still there, just because of his size alone. Him and Triple H worked together really well. Like, Triple H saw something in him and made him the top babyface. So I think that the sky's the limit for him on the main roster. And, there was a lot of rumors. Where is he going to end up? Is he going to be an Impact? Is he going to be an AEW? I think that with Triple H running the show, I think that this is the perfect spot for him. So definitely cool to see Johnny wrestling back. As for Legado del Fantasma, I'm so excited for this. I really think that this is the start of something special for them, because Santos Escobar alone, he's a money talent. He always has been a money talent. EO del Fantasma in AAA was a money talent. King Cuerno in Lucha Underground was a money talent. So I think that this is going to be amazing for a big platform for him to have, and to have a national broadcast audience to see what he could do. But I thought it was a really cool moment on NXT 2.0 this past Tuesday, where everyone was questioning, is he going to the main roster by himself, or what's going to happen with Legado del Fantasma? I thought it was a really cool moment that he came back, even though he was already he lost the matchup against Tony D'Angelo 2 weeks ago, came back this week on NXT just to say, what are you guys still doing here? You didn't think I was going to go alone, right? And then they all left together. So it's really awesome to see the team stay together, because I like what they were doing in NXT, and I feel like if they take that and multiply it by 10, go full force on the main roster. It's gonna be dope.
What is the name of the other faction that just popped up?
Judgment Day.
No. The newest one from NXT.
Gallus.
Is that the one that's a little? I don't know how to say this. Hip hop themed.
Oh,
no,
Hit Row.
Hit Row.
It's about Hit Row that went to SmackDown.
Yeah.
That I mean, there is a roster shakeup coming, so you could essentially have them feud against each other.
They had a great feud in NXT.
Yeah, they did.
Great feud.
That was badass feud.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward because now the addition with this faction kind of develops more the tag team division because they're not doing nearly shit with it. They need to do something now and move along for both rosters. And also, Papa H is not in the draft anytime soon, possibly. So after Mania, that's probably he's pushing it that long. But knowing him, he'll be doing adjustments here and there, setting a roster, sending a talent to this, this brand, this other brand, until the official brand, draft occurs. But I'm looking forward. I'm excited. I'm really excited this new era, and I'm looking forward. And then also, like how Courtney mentioned about Dexter too, the Index. Oh my God, and that's gonna be amazing. But I
love that moment.
I did too. That was amazing. I mean, I really enjoyed it. They're pushing right now, and I'm glad that we're seeing NXT being pushed right now. So that is for sure. I mean,
I had to say, I love how usually with NXT, it feels like it's in its own universe, right? It doesn't always feel like it's in the same universe as Raw and SmackDown. It doesn't feel canon. I love the fact that they had continuity of what happened on Raw with Dexter Lumis yoking up the Miz and then taking off, and then the Authorities going after him, and then him turning himself in after he kisses Indy Hartwell on NXT. He kisses her, and then he's he has to turn himself in because the cops were out there. So I love the continuity between Raw and then NXT the next day. So great moment for sure.
Hell yeah, I agree because I like how that connection just goes right away. See, that's a story how it tells, and that's fucking amazing. And I love it. And that's where we're gonna get into now. Oh, we're getting into it right now because it's about that time. Which, of course, could this be a debate of the week? I think, why the hell not? I think it should be because
let's with it.
Fuck it, might as well go. That is right. It is the debate of the week because why? Because Mr. TK had a meeting with his staff before, of course, Dynamite occurred. And, of course, Tony Khan, the meeting obviously is about communication. About, look, this is what's going, we want you guys to know who to communicate, who to go to. If you need to speak to me, I'm available. And, pretty much recapping, refreshing everybody's minds when what position is everybody in the upper management position. And also mentioning in regards to the tampering emails, which obviously everybody heard about WWE, Tony Khan, or I don't know who exactly specifically, reached out to a current AEW talent that is under contract for All Elite. So Tony Khan, of course, had his, president that controls his, you could say AEW and overall his assets, to send an email to Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon. Hey, don't be tampering with my roster. So, I mean, he got that out of the way. But another thing, too, in this meeting, you had Kenny Omega, spoken up. You had the Young Bucks, who they spoke up as well about, the environment that is going on in AEW because there's a lot of clusterfuck going around debacle. You have the Eddie Kingston going on with Sammy Guevara, which was a legit, really real what occurred. You have now Thunder Rosa, getting her backstage heat. So a lot of things are happening. So I'm pretty sure the meeting ended up like this. I'm pretty sure.
Oi! No fighting. No fucking fighting. No fighting. No fucking fighting! Good. Get the fucking...
It's so funny you use that.
How much does Will Ospreay sound like that fucking guy?
Right? Especially that clip from after Dynamite.
Will Ospreay sounds exactly like I was thinking of that.
Same haircut. Same haircut.
Osprey's got like that wee bustin' haircut, but
Word,
I was
bruv.
thinking about that. I'm like, he sounds exactly like he's on Peaky Blinders. It is almost hard to understand.
Bruv.
Ivan, here's actually what makes you using Peaky Blinders even more appropriate. Dustin Rhodes is a huge fan of that show. And Dustin Rhodes is like one of the locker room. He's kind of like a locker room leader and a mentor to a lot of people. So I'm pretty sure he probably even showed that clip on his phone. You see this? This is me. so
I mean,
that's definitely happened.
So with all this all this going on, man, we've been digressing with this. I mean, there's really not much to touch this basis. This is more, honestly, just to say, we told you so type of style, told TK, you need to have a structure. You need to have someone to say, hey, put the foot down for you, and you just stay back, lay back, and let them do the talking to the talent, to anybody. He needs that. For you having this meeting and having Kenny and the Bucks to speak up, they're frustrated too, because the way how it sounded, they are frustrated the fact that, hey, you're just booking everything. It's out of control. It's in an insane asylum with there's no one to put their foot down and control everything.
Was the inmates controlling the prison? Is what
pretty much is what it is.
Who was it that had the quote? Somebody was talking to somebody. A younger person was talking to like Jesse James or somebody, and they go like, "Is this what it was like back in WCW?" And then the older guy's like, "This is exactly what it was like."
Yes, it is. So I mean,
and that was a quote at backstage at AEW allegedly. I forget who the younger person was, and I forget who the older person was. But it did happen allegedly. It's 100% fact as a rumor.
So I mean, give us your thoughts overall. I mean, just like I said, there's nothing much really here. We're just pretty much providing an update of what's been going on. So I mean, with the whole tampering email, with the whole communication. I mean, you tell me, director, this guy needs to put someone in charge. He can't do it all by himself.
Cool. So this is I don't know how not present he's been since his injury, but somebody important was missing backstage for the past couple months, and that person has returned. And I don't know if he is the leader or the boss or the beacon of hope backstage, but Kenny Omega being back might help things. I don't think that he has backstage heat like ever, unless it's like something personal but he's never been the guy who's like always hard to work with. Oh, don't hire that guy. We don't want him. He's not the Ty Valkyrie. He's not the CM Punk that you hear consistently getting kicked out of locker rooms for being a dick. I think with him back, hopefully, and then the Young Bucks, and also them also kind of technically still owning the company, they can kind of address what's happening, right this toxic environment that's happening backstage, because the last thing you want is a company to burn from the inside out like this. And that is what can happen. You can get people who just don't want to be there. And we're hearing rumors of it. We've heard them for a while. And for a company as much as I love on the outside, it has to start on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Matt Callis.
It's funny you mentioned that about Kenny Omega, because I just saw that article that Kenny, I don't know if it's true, if this is a legitimate article and to verify Snopes or whatever, if we do verification, but it's something saying that Kenny Omega was the harshest on the talent backstage, giving tough love out or something like that. But, that's not verified, and it's not verified if it's true or not. So keep that in mind. What was it? Ivan says rumor and innuendo, so that it goes into that. But I mean, Kenny and the Bucks do have, they were EVPs, and I don't know if those titles still hold their weight as they did back then. Like, was Kenny only authority over the women, or did he have authority over both men and women? And now that Cody's out, and now that Cody's out of the picture, it's really up to it's really up to those three. And from what I saw from the Cody Rhodes reality show, it's actually some use, because you see kind of what the relationships are backstage. They're in direct communication with Eric Bischoff on a regular basis. So if there's anybody who knows the mistakes of old WCW, it's mainly the guy who made them himself. It's like, whoa, I did this before. Yep, this was me. I made this exact same mistake. And he sees that all going on backstage. So if there's anyone to ask the guy who made the mistake in the first place. But they say words don't teach, but some events do.
Indeed. De Niro.
I think it's about freaking time that Tony Khan had this meeting, because it's been a couple months of just rumors about miscommunications and lack of communication and people being upset with their spot. And it's like, I feel like things got a little too far. And in just my opinion, it wasn't said that this is the reason why, but I think that last week with the CM Punk going into business for himself might have been like the boiling point. Like, all right, you know what? I got to take control of this ship right now. Too much is going on. There's too much negative backstage press. I got to, do what I got to do to right the wrongs. And I feel like it's the right thing to do, especially if there's a general problem of communication. It's good for the boss to come out and say, look, let's let's change this. I'm available. You can talk to me. You can talk to Kenny, the Bucks, whoever, the new head of talent relations. Like, it's good that you show this structure to the talent just so they do have those lines of communication. But I do think he did let things get a little too bad before he had this meeting. I don't know if there needs to be more meetings more often just to show, your support for your talent and your staff. But it seems to me like he waited for shit to hit the fan for him to, finally do something. And, I love Tony Khan. I think that AEW is amazing and I am a big fan, but I always felt like he needed more of a backbone. Like, to me, it just feels like, if you're one of the bigger stars, you could do and say whatever the hell you want, and you're going to get the support of Tony Khan because, I'm not going to say anything about CM Punk. I'm not going to do anything about Jericho. Like, so I'm glad that, he's kind of like putting his foot down and letting people know, like, you know what, this is still my company. We're going to do this the right way. And about the whole contacting the WWE about the tampering, I think that's interesting. I'm curious to know who the WWE actually contacted. In my opinion, someone who probably no one's thinking about. Like, I know a lot of people's like, oh, it must have been Adam Cole or Keith Lee. In my opinion, I think that it may have been William Regal, just because that was Triple H's right-hand man. And now he has, control of Raw and SmackDown. Like, if this was last year and Vince McMahon stepped down and Triple H was in control of SmackDown, William Regal would have been right there in the main roster helping him do everything he's doing, because that's what he was doing in NXT. So maybe there was a call about that. But all I know is, if there is tampering, WWE's lucky that Tony Khan went the route of giving them a warning before he did take it legally, because contract tampering is very serious and it could have been a big legal battle. So I'm glad that, Tony Khan is kind of taking control once again of his company.
What's going on, Big T? Thank you for tuning in to see Big T's comments. AEW backstage has been like a high school at times. Started to blow up in their face. Eddie's outburst needs to be the final straw to get back in order. I feel with Eddie Kingston, what his suspension was like an example, pretty much. He was unfortunately the one who has to be the set for example for everyone. Even though it was quiet. And here's one thing I'll give credit to AEW: they keep their shit privately. It's not leaked out to the dirt sheets. It's not leaked out right towards the end. I'm like, oh, but this already happened like a month ago already, or weeks ago.
What happened? Because I totally missed it.
Eddie Kingston got suspended because of the altercation he got with Sammy Guevara. So that match of All Outs might not happen, because it all depends, because the promo that Sammy did, and Sammy called him a fat fuck, pretty much a fat ass. Kingston didn't take it lightly, and he pied him in the face, and so that was no kayfabe. It was like no kayfabe, just all real. And of course, they really got into this ago. Yeah, Eddie Kingston, he admitted to it. He did wrong. He admitted it during a signing, a webcam live signing. Sammy put up a statement that clarifying the issue, stating yes, this happened, and we did not discuss the storyline, how we're going to the promos. We never discussed it. I thought he will be okay with it, but he never approached me that, hey, go ahead and do this promo, but do not say this. And that's the problem. There's no communication. There's no structure. Hey, I'm going to say this promo though, but say this. Okay, like
this is why WWE has agents in charge of every segment. Like every time there's a match or a promo segment, there's an agent or a producer there to go over with both sides. All right, this is what's going to be said. This is what the other person does not want to be said, because this is, now you hear about Eddie Kingston, but just last week we were talking about Hangman Page saying something that CM Punk didn't necessarily appreciate. So I think that maybe they should use, if they are using the coaches, they should use it for that. Like, all right, here's the do's, here's the don'ts, and don't cross that line when you're out there. Because now this is the second time I'm hearing that someone said something in a promo that caused some real backstage heat.
Yeah, and it happened.
Mike, I'll answer that right away. They do have agents. They're just not as hands-on as they should be. I guess
Exactly.
they're letting too much stuff go at the moment. So I guess they got to be a little bit. It's not so much scripting the promos, but you have to draw some lines.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, they do not have the scripts for sure. I think there's bullet points, but obviously you say what you want to say, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
If it moves the intended storyline forward, I am cool with that. Be who you got to be, but also you're an actor.
Yeah,
that is.
I mean,
true.
it's as simple as going to the wrestlers and say, "Hey, all right, here's the bullet points, but what's the do's, what's the don'ts? Like, what's going too far for you? Because we don't want anyone to actually have feelings hurt out here, because it's everyone's supposed to be working together. Like,
we'll talk about it when we get to it, but the off-air segment, there was a line that was dropped that I think was a deliberate nod to what's happening, and I don't think it's a coincidence that this little sentence that someone dropped. I'd be very if it's the same thing you're talking about, Matt, that'd be pretty funny. So when we get to it, we'll get to it.
We're gonna get to it. That is right, because it's time, not Vader time. It's time for
Dynamite!
And that is right. It is Dynamite. It is time to get into it, because we've been waiting the anticipation to see the outcome of this event. And I know I want to get into the first one. The first one, of course, because I really enjoyed this segment. And that is, of course, the good joke. Jericho and Bryan Danielson, of course, the segment that we saw, Jericho calling out Garcia and, hey, I need you to apologize. You pushed me, you embarrassed me. And I was just, I was just looking out for you. Garcia said, you took away my moment with my hero. You took that moment away from me. Oh, you'll have other moments. Bryan comes out, of course, and, telling him, see, the crowd, he was telling you that you are a wrestler. You're not an entertainer. And, of course, Jericho, say it, Garcia. Say that you're an entertainer. Say it.
Say it!
Say it. Say it, Garcia. But he didn't say it. And so he walked out. He left. He didn't want. I can't handle this anymore. I'm gone. And then, of course, Jericho and Bryan. Jericho, I'm the last one. I'm the last member of the Stu Hart Foundation, of Dungeon. I should be the best wrestler in the world, but I don't know why you're the best wrestler. I haven't seen you. I haven't noticed it. And Bryan, I love Bryan, how he said, "Oh, what would Stu Hart say? Who's the best wrestler in the world between you and I? What would Owen Hart say? You're a hero of who's the best wrestler, between you and myself." Everything, this segment, this promo, I like, because how very quick Jericho. This is why I give Jericho credit, why they should study this man, and also as well as Bryan Danielson. Excuse me, I was gonna bust Bryan Danielson. I don't know.
He did it himself.
Yeah.
He did it himself.
Own fucking name. It was
He said, Lionheart Chris Jericho versus the American Dragon Daniel Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa. Okay, Jim Ross.
Right?
Yes. I was gonna say it, so forgot about
WWE champion.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god! But what I like the fact that these two guys knows how to start a storyline that quick, and we're in short notice, even though that it was already kind of a spoiler, I guess you'd say. But I like how they just really did it right away. Okay, last week you had Bryan and Garcia, Jericho got involved, the whole shoving thing. Now you got the storyline going to build up to the match. I know a lot of people are not intrigued, but I'm intrigued because this is entertainment. You want little entertainment.
Who's not intrigued by this?
Well,
People you know? People in the league?
A couple haters.
Make yourself known.
make yourself, a couple of haters, the IWC, but hey, teach his own. But I'm intrigued. I'm really happy to see this happening at All Out, because now we get to see the veterans, especially of Bryan Danielson, because we haven't seen this match. I've been correct if I'm wrong, since NXT. But that was like the rookie day of Bryan Danielson. I haven't seen the Bryan and Jericho one-on-one WWE. Remind me, if so, comment below.
You remember when Bryan Danielson first came up and he was the U.S. champion, beat The Miz for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had a match with Jericho too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it away, director.
I mean, not a lot. I can get this up pretty quickly. I'm enjoying this storyline. I like this. This is giving Daniel Garcia that one missing piece of his character that we don't have yet, and that's his mic skills, which he definitely has. I like this storyline. This my hero versus my idol, my leader versus my boss. I still don't know which way he's going to go. This is definitely like mom and dad fighting over the kid, and they're just like, come this way. No, you come this way. If this was like WWE, I would think that Daniel Garcia, not Bryan Daniel Garcia. That's I would see Daniel like doing a double switch and going back to Jericho, like turning on, what's the phrase? Kill your idols, kill your heroes. Like, oh wait, beat, if you can't beat them, beat. I don't know. There's so many phrases out there. Like the best there is or best there was, if you want to stick it to the hearts. Very deliberate that Jericho and Daniel Bryanson only brought up the hearts that have passed away. They didn't drop Bret Hart in that. I think that was to really drive home the edgelord effect of that sentence.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the match between Jericho and Danielson. Like, that's happening at All Out, right? That's not next week.
Sir. All out.
Yeah, they can't give it all away on free TV.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be fuckery afoot. For sure the Jazz is going to come out, and then the Blackpool Combat Club is going to come out, and they're going to fight. They're going to scrap. There's going to be a thing. Daniel Garcia is going to be like, the dust will settle. He'll be the only one standing. He's got a fist. He's got to find a face to put it. And that's when we're going to know if he's a wrestler or a sports entertainer.
Fucking Daddy Magic. By the way,
I can't do that Joe Pesci voice. You do it, Edwin.
I can't do it, man. I can't do that, man. I don't know how you can do it.
Entertainment.
Entertainment.
It's so deliberately Goomba. Like, that's
right?
it's the only way to play it.
It's like the worldwide leaders in sports. Entertainers.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's like raised in Jersey, grew up in Long Island.
That's right.
Fuck.
Hey, he ain't lying though. I've been around a lot of them. He ain't lying.
I love it. Matt Callis.
We had to get to this point eventually in some form or another. It was done pretty well. Now it kind of seems, there's some things that will happen and that we hope will happen. This is one of those things that we know is an inevitability. Daniel Garcia is, he's right there. I think once he gets into his babyface run, we're going to see a whole other side to him. A lot of different things are being reborn. Wrestlers reborn, companies being reborn. Daniel Garcia is like, he's probably the one who's going to benefit the most out of this feud. These two are we're going to get this kind of, enjoyable match for All Out, but with Daniel Garcia coming out of it as, another big name baby face that everybody's going to love. He's got a little bit more. I think he's probably learned promo skills from Jericho. Jericho's given him, promo 101, stunt 101. There's my G Unit reference again. Here we go.
Shout out to Dan, Cage Mike, brother. What's going on? Yes, Dan. He's been doing that for a couple of years. That is correct. And we did see Garcia did go through the face tunnel, so we did see that though when he walked up. Take it away, De Niro.
I really like the segment. I'm really looking forward to the match. I do have one little gripe, right? And it's not the major. It's just, if you saw the match graphic, it does say Lionheart Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson, right? So he's probably going to bring back the gimmick like he did a couple weeks ago, but it would have meant more if he didn't do it a couple weeks ago. I feel like if they were saving Lionheart, why couldn't it just be, the Wizard Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley in that match a couple weeks ago, instead of being Lionheart versus Bryan Danielson and then Lionheart versus Jon Moxley? It's like, it was a cool moment when he brought it out, But if he's going to do it again, like a few weeks later, might as well just stay with that character. Like, go back to being Lionheart then, because I don't know. It's if you're going to do it for nostalgia reasons, then you can't do it every week. But that's my only thing. I think the matchup itself is going to be amazing. When he was Lionheart, though, a couple weeks ago, he pulled out a lot of crazy submissions that he used to do back in the day. So I think that's going to be great. Shout out to old school Bryan Danielson.
You want that old school?
That was like that 2004 era shit.
Oh god,
That's so ridiculous.
That's like a Danhausen cape, but
oh hell yeah,
Danhausen and Bryan Danielson.
Danielhausen.
Team Hell baby.
Also, you do know if Daniel Garcia teamed up with Bryan Danielson, they could be called Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. That would be a beautiful loophole.
Exactly. But I think that Daniel Garcia is definitely going to be siding with Chris Jericho just for the verbiage in his promo. Like even him just saying at the end, just leave me alone. Like it was like a little too obvious. Like this is all, a big ruse from the Jericho Appreciation Society. So I think for sure he's going to stick around with Jericho, even though, I think that it would be awesome to see him in the Combat Club. But I think that if you have all the best wrestlers in the Combat Club, who are the Combat Club going to be facing? So I think it's cool if you have like that foil to Blackpool Combat Club and Daniel Garcia, because he's basically feuded with all of them. He's feuding with Bryan Danielson, feuded with Yuta. He had matches against Moxley, so definitely. Dan, you could be their manager. Facts.
Yes, Dan. That's facts. The Danielsons with Dan Bakley, Daniel Garcia, and Daniel Bryan.
Dan Lambert.
Word.
Have Lambert. All right, so then we get into Jay Lethal versus Dax Harwood, of course. Great matchup, great old school match. Modern, not your modern, your old school type of wrestling style. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Then we get the of course Jay Lethal with the with the win. But at the aftermath, we find out that it's not Satman Singh and Sanjay Dutt are not going to team up with Jay Lethal at All Out to face FTR and Wardlow, and that will be Motor City Machine Guns, which I knew it.
Honestly, I just want to say we have to give respect to Matt, because Matt said a couple weeks ago, out of the blue, we're getting closer to a Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR match, and it was like mad random, but here we are. So definitely respect to that.
They've been teasing it on Twitter for a while now. My only kind of disappointment with this is, as much as we like Wardlow and Jay Lethal, it's like ordering like your combo, but getting something you didn't want to come with it. So maybe they're saving FTR versus Motor City Machine Guns 2-on-2 for maybe like the first episode of Ring of Honor TV or something like that for the Ring of Honor tag titles, because Motor City Machine Guns have a history with Ring of Honor. So they would be, I guess that they could kind of work that in somehow, or there's a lot of different things they could do. But I think this is going to be maybe let Motor City Machine Guns and FTR do a little bit more. Who knows? But overall, I'm happy. This really raised this pay-per-view up several levels for me. This is either going to be the show-stealing match or my second favorite. One or the other. Yeah, invisible hands.
Yes,
and as soon as I saw him, I was like, Matt.
Yeah, I know, me too. Once I saw when I heard the theme song, I'm like, this is what I thought about. That's all I thought about right there.
The only thing that would put this over the moon is if Maki Ito is like, "Oh, congratulations, Alex." Just if you followed it on Twitter, Mike, like there's some sort of like Twitter flirtation joke.
Oh yeah, with Maki and Shelly.
And Maki and Shelly is like, I just want to take her to a movie. I think she's cool and smart. Please don't. And then Horse is writing like fan fiction about them. It's like, oh, he gets back on the back of his motorcycle and it plays Sister Christian.
Oh, God.
I just want to digress on this. I agree with you, Matt. This should have been individually. This should have been, especially for Wardlow. What is the damn fucking point that you get that TNT belt for? You're not using it. This should have been used every week. Build them against somebody for All Out. They're not doing that. You're putting FTR in a 6-man tag with Wardlow. it will be intriguing to see if they said all titles are on the line. Hopefully, that could be the case. I wouldn't mind.
That would add to it for sure.
That would add to it. Then okay, hell yeah. Then we got a match, a 6-man match. Even though we already have one coming at All Out with the the trios finals, but I mean, fine. I don't mind it. FTR and Motor City Machine Guns in the them for the Ring of Honor or the AAA or the not the IWGP because they won't. Bushido won't allow that. Has to be along their territory. But at least the AAA titles for Ring of Honor. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then Wardlow against a rematch, Jay Lethal, or doesn't matter. I guess something to get him going, build that momentum for his TNT run. They're not really doing shit. That's where I'm really disappointed on. I don't mind this match at All Out. It's just the only thing that really does hurt is Wardlow. FTR, not so much, because at least they're going to have their taste of Motor City Machine Guns. And like how Matt said, and I agree, we might see that for Ring of Honor coming up for the next event, for them challenging for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. So I do see that happen. So, I mean, but I overall, the match, Chelito, Dax, loved it. Old school. Director, take it away.
Yeah, the match wasn't the highlight here. Obviously, it was the loss was expendable. So Jay had to win that. It wouldn't make sense as a singles person losing to a tag guy. The storyline was obviously Motor City Machine Guns coming in, and yeah, we're excited. Matt predicted it, and I didn't have a prediction before that. I was like, oh, who's it gonna? I had no idea who it was going to be. I didn't even have enough time to weigh options before the music hit. So I was very not surprised, but very like, all right, cool. Shit's about to pick up. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Now are they elite or are they just walking through the door?
No,
they're walking through the door.
Yeah,
they're still
I'm,
Impact.
I'm cool with that. So yeah.
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 I actually thought it might have been the Briscoes just because of the feud between the Briscoes.
If I had 10 more seconds, I would have thought Briscoes and Good Brothers.
Yeah, just because the feud with the Briscoes and FTR, and the Briscoes just said recently that they're not done with FTR, and then we had seen the Briscoes team up with Jay Lethal quite so many times in Ring of Honor. So I thought that all right, that would have been, but this is fresh to me, so this is even better.
Super fresh.
Guys, guess what? It's that time. I actually got a curveball for you guys.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I got that curveball.
That's an exclusive. That's the first time I've seen that.
Wah. 3-3.
Double fisting them balls.
Yeah.
The human pitching machine.
That means something different over here.
So you guys it just went over your guys' heads. You didn't catch it? You don't have your gloves out? Oh, okay.
Nah, mine's in the closet right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, over. So my it's not too much of a curveball because it's another one that we're kind of waiting on. I'd say this is another eventuality because they've got those IWGP titles. You can already tell who I'm going to see next. Gorillas of Destiny, right now. So,
but he's not ready yet. He's still not fully ready yet. We'll see it.
Yeah, Tom was a single star.
Yes, Tom
he showed that in the G1. He's a single star.
That's definitely very true. I mean, I think it's just gonna take some time. Maybe they're saving that for Wrestle Kingdom. So that's gotta be. I think that'll be a great Wrestle Kingdom match. The only thing is, Gorillas of Destiny are baby faces right now. You gotta keep them as baby faces as part of, Hontai. So FTR works heel pretty naturally, and they could easily heel in Japan. Have a good kind of like, I'm pretty sure. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Road Warriors were were heels when they went to New Japan, right? If I'm not mistaken,
they were heels in their first tour.
Yes,
of New Japan. So they're kind of in
after that they were faced like all the time.
They could even do a little bit of a Road Warriors reference too. Maybe we'll see FTR in the armor and the spikes at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, is that gonna be cool?
We'll see.
Dax could do the two mohawks and put the hawk face paint on.
Yeah. Ooh, what a rush!
We'll see it.
Yeah.
Speaking of rush, I mean, this is kind of rush too, but the hell with it. I mean, go crazy. Well, this one, okay. So we have, of course, father versus son for the first time. For the first time, of course, you have Colton Gunn versus Billy Gunn for the first time. Of course, the Acclaim is right next to him, and of course, you have Stokely, who came in right towards the end and kind of caused the interference, getting Colton to get the pickup win by low blowing his father and getting the win, taking the business cards from Stokely. For me, I'm intrigued. I'm invested to see what they're going to do with Stokely. Is he going to have his own? Stokely reminds me, if I go back to the Golden Era, man, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Teddy Long?
No, not Teddy Long.
Clarence Mason?
Yes, I think, yes. Slick. He does remind me of Slick.
Oh,
he does.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Hey, I love Slick.
Doctor of Soul.
Slick was a bad one.
Yeah, he was. And he does remind me, he does remind me of that. So, I mean, oh, yeah. Scissor me, daddy. Scissor me. Go. Oh, the stepdaddy, yes, it's the stepdaddy. But I really like this. What's someone gonna do? I'm invested, and at least, like I said, I'm happy to see the Gun Club getting the moment of shine and more on national television exposure, as well as the Acclaim. And so I'm gonna put this together, even though it was like it was jumped on. So I'm gonna put it. Might as well, because it makes fucking sense. After we did see Swerve and His Glory come out, and they, came to the rescue. And next thing you know, now we have Swerve challenging the Acclaim for basically a shot at the AEW tag team titles. A lot of people the IWC community they're like, wait, why? It doesn't make any sense. There's no story to it. I mean, yes, the rankings do not matter. At this point, the rankings doesn't matter to me, but they are one of the top ones right now, winning this for the Acclaim. However, though, people are not really happy. The fact because there's no built, storyline to it. I understand. I can agree a little bit on that, but hey, I mean, they needed something to do. I think for me, I will add the Gun Club to this matchup, make it more interesting. Since you're already mixing Swerve and the Glory in this feud, might as well mix the Gun Club in it, make it more intriguing. And then from there, then you can separate either one of the two, and then have Swerve and the Glory to face them individually, and hopefully we can see either the Acclaim winning it. That's what I love to see. I think the Acclaim is going to be their third chance that they actually get a shot at the titles. Their Luxor Charm, I believe they should be the ones winning it and catching everyone unexpected, because so right now the Acclaim is hot right now, and I would put the belts on them. I love Lee and I love Swerve, but I think you need to put those belts on homegrown AEW talent. Mark it down. The Acclaim winning it all out. Add the Gun Club, make it a triangle. I don't mind it. I love it. Director, take it away.
I mean, I like this. I'm entertained. Starting from the beginning, obviously, the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn are just catchphrase machines, and I love that. I love that this was a quick win for Colton. I mean, obviously, that made a lot of sense. Get it over with. So, yeah, that was very interesting. This is the right thing to do. Putting Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed, that's the right thing. One thing I don't know if people are noticing is Stokely's been handing out his business cards previous to this. But after he does that, I don't think you see those people anymore.
Yeah. Where's Ethan?
Right. So is he waiting to have his team assembled and then have it all debut as one unit? So
I like that.
Yeah. And then obviously you brought in another more angles to the situation with Swerve and Your Glory, who are like, we respect you. You guys are the winningest tag team in AEW, but we're the champs. And I think it's going to stay that way for a while. I don't see Swerve and Your Glory losing them that quickly, but I do also see the Acclaimed having them belts eventually.
Okay. Matt Callis.
You know, on the contrary, I gotta say they gotta kind of pull the trigger on this one since the people love the Acclaimed, and with the IWC community kind of complaining about this match, this might be a case of loud minority, silent majority.
What is the abbreviation? IWC? Is that's a wrestling company, right?
No,
Internet
that's
wrestling community. Yeah.
Is that like an
it's
actual
a thing.
Yeah,
is it a company or is it just like the LGBT community?
That's just what they call all the trolls online who talk shit about everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people that go on message boards and talk shit to talk shit.
Basically, they're the loud minority.
So it's the 4chan of wrestling.
Mm-hmm. They're the loud minority. They're the loud minority.
So when you said minority, I thought you were saying it was like they were like making people of ethnicities look bad. I was like, what's happening here? I was so confused.
Word.
What? You have two African Americans with the belt feuding against, I don't want to assume their race, but non-whites, and Billy Gunn, who is
non-whites,
white as glue.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, that is not the case.
Cool.
But yeah, the people, the trolls on Reddit and Twitter, blah blah blah. So and of course
casuals,
Facebook.
The filthy casuals is what we call them.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there's a silent majority that actually that you hear them and at the events. And there's also a thing in psychology. You guys know about this negative bias. That we pay more attention to negative comments than we do to positive comments.
Yeah, that's why every news articles are never like guy gives homeless man $1. It's always homeless man steals $1.
Exactly. So that's why it's the silent majority loves the Acclaimed to keep it that. And that's a reason enough why they got to pull the trigger on them getting those titles. And I'm definitely with Ivan on adding the Gun Club to this mix, because if they overcome both the Gun Club and Swerve and Keith Lee, that would be a good way. And the Gun Club taking the pin in the match, it kind of raises them up experience-wise, in addition to the fact that Keith and Strickland aren't taking the pin. So it helps put over. They still look strong in defeat. Acclaim looks strong in victory, and Gun Club gets more experience, and they're more perceived as main eventers in the tag title picture. So it's a win-win-win-win all around.
I agree.
Listen to the silent majority.
No, I'm with you, because it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt Swerve and the Glory, and it doesn't hurt the Acclaim. Or the Gun Club, to be honest with you.
And the Gun Club are, they're still, they got experience by now, but it's a little bit like the crowd needs to perceive them as a main eventer tag teams, as they enter that picture, and they get the manager, and they get the experience, and they get the storylines,
Absolutely. 100% with you. All right. De Niro.
I actually disagree. I don't think that the Gun Club should be added to this matchup for two reasons. One, they fought the Acclaim on Dynamite, 2 weeks ago, in a dumpster match and lost. So why would they be added to a tag team title match? Also, on the second, when it comes to Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, if you remember, Double or Nothing, their first shot at the tag team titles was 3 teams. It was the Jurassic Express, Starks and Powerhouse, and then them, right? Then when they won the tag team titles, it was 3 teams. It was Starks and Powerhouse, them, and the Young Bucks. So then the next pay-per-view is going to be 3 teams again. Like, I think that they need to have just a solid, tag team matchup. And the Acclaimed, they deserve it. They beat the Gun Club, so why would the Gun Club get added? So I think that let's keep it a regular tag match. And then on top of that, we already have a trios title finals at All Out. Then we have another trios matchup with FTR versus Morrison Machine Guns and all that. So then to add this, have 3 teams, it's going to be too many matches with 6 people in it. And I feel like it's just going to seem like a big cluster. So I would be all for just keeping this just a regular tag match, because the Acclaim, they're ranked and they beat the Gun Club. So this would be awesome just to have this as a tag match. I'm not mad at this at all. Like I said, they deserve it. They're over. And I just think that, I think that the rankings is a way to justify having these matchups happen at pay-per-views without storyline. you have that out. Like, oh well, there's no storyline going into it, but they're ranked, so they deserve a title shot. So it's like they're like out to not have a storyline, but I'm not mad at it. I think that this is going to be a good matchup. I was wondering though. I was like, all right, All Out's coming up in like 2 weeks. What's going on with the tag title? So I'm glad that we have an answer now. So it's going to be a good matchup. As for who I think wins it, I think that we're going to eventually get back to the storyline of Swerve wanting to break out on his own and turning on Keith Lee. And I think that All Out would be a good moment for it because at the end of the day, these are two single guys.
Agreed.
So I think that, let them go singles and have the Acclaimed, a established tag team, run with the titles.
Okay. I like that. Right. All right. And very brief, of course, Miss DMD, of course, versus Kylie King. Just very quick. I just like to say I like how she trolls the fans, especially in Cleveland, with the terrible towel, Pittsburgh. Oh man, Rebel with that towel out. I enjoyed it, loved it. Of course, we got the announcement earlier within the show. Thunder Rosa had to relinquish the title because of an injury.
Yeah.
So now it's a fatal 4-way. Now you're gonna have Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Toni Storm for the interim.
Yeah, unfortunately, Thunder Rosa is not going to be relinquishing the title. I feel like we're going to be back to where we were with the men, like interim titles and title for title matches. It's like,
yeah, I would ask. I would love to hear the expert on this as a director because, especially that's more with MMA. Should Tony Khan discontinue this? Type of shit?
Catch me up to date. What's the issue she's having? Is it an injury or is it a contract thing?
Undisclosed injury, and then it's just a back injury that has been dealing with quite some time. So now, with a disc. So now she has to step.
What's the heat? She has heat backstage, I hear too.
And that's the rumor window. According to Dirt Sheet, she has heat backstage with Britt and with Jimmy Hayter.
Potatoes.
Yes, potato, and then of course
you got a sexy star part 2 coming in or something. Okay, so if I'm writing this storyline, this is what's going to happen. Obviously, we know that Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker are homegirls. Obviously, Jamie Hayter's in this match to want Britt's back. She gets knocked out with a punch. It was aimed for Britt. She gets in the way. She takes out Britt on the fall. She gets knocked out. She lands on Toni Storm. She gets the win. Jamie Hayter and new. That's my story. That's what I want to happen. That's probably not what's going to happen. It's going to be Toni Storm. It's just written in the stars, pun intended. That's going to set up another match between Storm and Thunder. But I like that Jamie Hayter's in this because that's weird. That's like you don't get your BFF in a match like this and not have some drama. So it is very real possibility that although she may not win the belt, which would be a huge upset and marketing suicide, I'd love it. There's going to be something there. There's going to be drama for sure.
Yeah,
I love it.
Who is the fourth person?
Hikaru Shida.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's cool.
She's dope.
Former champion, but she's filler. I don't know if they couldn't get Statlander obviously is his injury prone as Bo Jackson. So that's a 90s reference. We're old.
Yes, it is Bo Jackson. But should they get rid of discontinue this interim belts? I mean, they're not UFC, bro.
It is what it is. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I love that Thunder Rosa said inter-women's title. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
Yeah,
she didn't say that. I guess I like that. I guess that was probably just an English and language flub. I don't hate it that much. I mean, they exist. It's fine. It's questionable when they do it in MMA because of a lot of reasons they do it is contractual. But it's for drama. It is what it is. We saw how well it worked out with the thing we're about to talk about next. So
yes, which we are.
It's not the worst thing in pro wrestling for me.
I agree with what Dan said right now. They should bring back the 30-day rule. Do you remember that when you 30 days to defend your belt? If not, you have to relinquish it. I love that rule. That's old school golden era right there. Next generation WWF style. I love that rule. I think that was overall in professional wrestling, as a matter of fact. That makes more sense than because what about you're not defending it in 30, within 30 days. gotta defend it. You gotta fight. You figure something out, or you have to relinquish it, or but Shawn Michaels losing your smile. So I mean, you're gonna have to lose your smile somehow. Matt Caddis, I know you're happy. Well, I know this match is not much to talk about. No disrespect to Kylie King. Shout out to her. She did a fantastic job. I love
She's
her.
money.
She is money. She is money, and she's very underrated. Very, very.
I hope they do build up Kylan King over a certain amount of time. I think one of the good things about AEW, once again, is that kind of semi-open door. It's not, some things aren't always exclusive. Kylan King has the ability to she could go for that IWGP Women's title. There's a lot going on in the women's world of wrestling that, she could benefit from. There's so much going on out there. She could face Mayu Iwatani. List goes on and on. But as for the upcoming 4-way match, Hikaru Shida already has a championship from another independent promotion in Japan. And I think just because she has that belt, I don't think she's going to win this one. She would definitely be the dark horse for this match if she does come out with the win, Hikaru Shida. But it wouldn't make sense at this point in time. It would come out of nowhere.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. How do I feel? I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how I feel. I'll tell you how I feel. It's definitely gonna be between the other three in that match. Maybe you could have Jamie Hayter go off on her own. Do her thing as the new champion, as the interim champion. Everybody talks about her joining Blackpool Combat Club. Maybe Blackpool Combat Club has.
Why the hell not?
Yeah. And maybe she could make a quote. She could do her speech like Blackpool Combat Club as a thing for fighting interim champions, so that she could be like, oh, I'm the female Moxley or something like that. I'm an interim champion. So that's something they could do. But other than that, we got Tony, she's like the main baby face everybody's going to root for. Britt could come back again for that second reign. So, let's see what we see.
All right, indeed. De Niro.
I actually love Chris's idea, and I would love if Jamie Hayter walks out of this as champion, just because now we have the story of her breaking off from Britt. I'm sure Britt's going to be like, all right, you know what? You're going to lay down for me and give me the title or whatever, and then have Jamie Hayter be like, no, I earned it. And then it would just make for a better TV. Instead, I think that, we're going to go with Toni Storm, and no disrespect to Toni Storm. I love Toni Storm, but I think that it's just too much of an obvious choice right now. So, yeah.
All right.
Oh, my bad. No, but definitely. Also, I just want to say, definitely, Kylan King has been impressing me the last couple of weeks. I don't know if she's.
Yeah. I don't want to be a footnote in this conversation, so I was going to bring her up. Thank you.
Yeah, she had a great match with Britt Baker. She had a really good match last week. Is she signed? I know she did a lot for AEW Dark during the pandemic, but I don't know if she's signed full time. But she's definitely someone that I would sign because I think that she could be a good piece to the women's division.
No, they just use her here, here and there. Yeah, well, haters.
They're pushing her for a reason, and I don't see why they shouldn't. I don't want to judge. She's not botching, and I don't judge botches that bad. I'm not that fucking guy who's sitting there with my Cheeto fingers out, she should have dropped toe hold better, or she fell weird. No. She's good. She's solid. She's athletic. And Jim Ross is pushing that she's 6'7". I'm like, bro, last week you said 6 feet. Now you said 6'1". What is she going to be at the end of this? Fucking
Giant Gonzalez.
Almost she grows an inch every week.
You're reminding me of the tallest girl in my high school. She was on the volleyball team. It was talk about security guards.
She grows an inch every week. Fucking cut me off guard on that shit. All right. Fuck. Should hold my composure. Jesus Christ. All right, now it's time for, I guess you could say, not the main event, but I just unexpectedly, you can say the first hour of Dynamite, the main event for the first hour. And that is, of course, CM Punk versus Jon Moxley for AEW World Championship. All right. I'm going to fucking let it out right here because I need to get it out my chest. I've been waiting to fucking say what I need to say. And regardless of what you say, Tony, it's not going to change the way how I feel.
That's fucking bullshit.
No, you're fucking bullshit, all right? Because you're pissing me off. So
Let's fucking go.
So, as we all know, this is a work. Punk is at 80% in my opinion. This is my opinion at 80%. He's not 100% yet. I saw that leg. I saw it. No, he did not fuck up his leg. I mean, because we know professional wrestling, of course. This is where I'm lost, and I'm going to digress as they head to these directions. And I'll say very brief to get it out of my chest. Okay, you have Punk losing at Dynamite because either you were in trouble with your ratings, I'm not sure, but your ratings went out the roof. It was 100.9 million viewers. Demographics were the top 3, 1849, so you're fine. You don't have to worry about that, TK. Now you have to worry about is your buyouts for All Out. Now you have to be concerned. Your main event. It's not about putting butts on seats. You got that under control. However, it's people like us who are watching, paying $50 to watch your event. I mean, you don't have a main event yet. There's room in your windows that is going to be a rematch and going to have Punk to win, regain it back. So you telling me this whole fucking time that you had Moxley as an intern who should have been an AEW World Champion, those could count as a real AEW World Champion. You're fucking telling me you're going to count for 5 days to have Punk win it back and then just become for him to win in Chicago because either he lost last year to MJF at his hometown. If he does head to that direction and they do bail, if that does happen, I will be completely pissed because this is where I would say I wasted my $50 for bullshit like this for a main event.
I'll cancel my network subscription.
But I'm not one of those. I'm a professional wrestling fan. I love wrestling. So it's like, I don't care. It is what it is. But I'll be upset because you really fucked up this main event just to book it to get your fucking ratings on Dynamite, knowing that Raw beat the shit out of you last week, and that's why you didn't want to build it up. I know it's not about competition, but he looks at it. We've been talking about it. He watches the product.
Yeah, for sure. It's our business.
Yeah,
he's a fan first. He's the first person to admit that he's a supermarket with an unlimited paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is where it sucks. It's like if he does head to that direction, it's gonna be pissed off. And not only that, like I said, the major concern, the crucial is how are you gonna sell to the audiences behind the screens? Hey, should I buy this for $50 at a BR Live or at Fight TV? You have to give them something to be invested on. The card is so far okay, but your main event is the concern. What is you going to book your main event? Your buyouts are going to be the one that really benefits you more than your sell tickets, honestly, because it's around the world internationally. That's the one he needs to figure it out. And this is where something that TK needs to learn off of this lesson. You need to have a plan B. Learn if your main stars get hurt, have a plan B. This is called structure, storylines. Learn from William fucking Regal, who can help you. Hey, this guy's hurt. Let's build it with this guy. Screw it. Let's go with it.
There's no one who's next up right now.
Nobody. And it's like, you're telling me you cannot get this done. This is a lesson learned for Tony Khan, and I hope he does. Because if All Out is not successful in the buyouts, mark my word that he's not going to put a structure because, okay, now I'm going to have to really listen to people in his company like Regal or anybody else who knows how to book a plan B and knowing that plan A is going to fail.
Sometimes you need an A, B, C, D.
And
more than a B.
You need more than that. But it should be a lesson learned. I don't know what direction they're going to go with it. I'm just throwing assumptions. I'm just digressing because it's like you need to start announcing your main event now because people need to buy pay-per-view. How are you going to buy it? You're going to put a question mark? And okay, I'll buy it. Of course. No matter what, I'm still going to purchase regardless. Because I want to see what's going to happen.
Ivan, Mike, Chris, are you guys ready for another curveball? Here we go, guys. Here we go. Who's got their gloves out?
I got the bat
Right,
out. Let's go.
You got the bat. All right. This one, I'm going to put a little mustard on this one. There we go. There's my curveball.
It was a ball.
Robin Ventura.
Whoa, ball one. All right. I've been saying this before because you guys thought the Motor City Machine Guns, I saw the Twitter stuff going on already about it. It kind of seemed out of nowhere, but I predicted it. So here's somebody, not only should he, originally, I don't think he should have been the plan B. You know, he's kind of who I've been wanting to face Moxley for a while because he needs to get a loss back from the G1 when he lost to Moxley. And I hope Tony Khan's springing that money, that dinero on, that dinero on some plane tickets straight from Tokyo. You already know who it is. I want to, they need to get Tetsuya Naito on a plane. And, if you want Punk to be part of the picture, sure, put Punk in the rematch. But if there's anyone who I'm kind of to come out of this as a victor, because, I don't think Tanahashi was robbed, but, I was a little bit I know he's the other promotion, but if there's anyone who deserves a win over Jon Moxley, who's a major star, because he just lost to Moxley in the G1 like it was nothing, and they could reference it again. He's one of the guys who wasn't in, Forbidden Door, one of the biggest faction leaders, and it's Tetsuya Naito. So let's get Tetsuya Naito on a plane for All Out. I know it's short notice, but he would be one of the coolest plan Bs. And if, are worried about the name recognition, to please the Punk fans, just throw Punk in there, and maybe, and Naito gets the pin on Moxley while Punk is injured and bleeding outside, whatever.
I think he was going to say bleeding out. I was like, God damn, how badly is he going to be? He's just out there bleeding out.
bleeding in and out.
On the outside.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to say, wow, Moxley's bleeding out.
Yeah, maybe Tony's got enough cash in his pocket to pay him out. Who's he facing in wrestling spirit? Maybe New Japan could have a plan B for Naito, but get those greenbacks out, Tony. That's who I want to see. I know who I want. Do you know who you want? I know who I want, Tony, but do you know who you want, Tony?
Give me what I want.
Yeah,
Matt Callis, what do you?
Yeah,
you got him with the Naito Tranquilo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. I should. All right. Damn it. Tranquilo, Matt. He's busy in New Japan. He's busy.
Yeah.
Just get those greenbacks out, Tony. Get those greenbacks. Come on, write that checkbook. Get that checkbook out, Tony.
Director, take it away.
I don't know what is actually happening backstage, so I'm just going to create fiction based on what could be possible. I think there may be a tiny contract dispute or conversation that both parties are just not agreeing on. I think that this obviously was a protected loss for CM. This wasn't what you would say. It's a clean win, but it is under the ruse of an injury. He got his ass beat so quickly that it almost, there's no competition. So it's not this grave 20-minute war where they put it all out and then, like CM lost after giving it all. So that being said, I think that was based on, hey, CM, we don't agree right now. Let's give you this protected loss, put the belt on Mox. If we can hash something out by All Out, then you can get the belt back, and we'll figure out how to do that between now and then. I think something like that might be happening. The MJF factor, I don't know. It's just pure fan fiction that I want that to happen, but I don't see MJF beating Moxley clean unless there's the chairman of the board comes back. That would be sick. And then you say if they're just saving this to build up the ratings to have CM win in Chicago. They literally just copied and pasted, I believe it was Dolph Ziggler's and Braun Breaker in NXT last year, right? Where didn't Ziggler beat him for the belt and then they waited for it to be in Braun's hometown for him to win it back?
Like on Raw or some shit, right?
No,
right.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. I'm Raw.
It was like the night after WrestleMania, they did it on Raw.
Yeah.
But it was Braun Break. It was Dolph Ziggler, though, right? Like he beat him for the Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's exactly the same thing they did, where he lost the belt, wins it back in his hometown 2 weeks later just for that pop. I don't know if they're going to copy and paste that game plan. There's not a lot of similarities I've seen in storylines between the two companies. So I have no fucking clue what's going on right now. Other than that,
on my face. It's just on my face as soon as that 3 hit. I was like what?
Yeah, I kind of saw it happening that way. I didn't see anything online. I had a feeling like as it was happening, I'm like, oh, this is going to be quick and it's a protected loss. This isn't going to be the devastating loss that people thought it was. I mean, unexpected for sure, but definitely based on that injury. And the thing that CM Punk has said before, and stop me if I'm telling lies, is like, do I wake up and look at myself in the mirror every day and do I deny that I'm the bad guy? Am I really the bad guy this whole time? I think we're going to finally get that. I think that's going to be the thing.
I agree. I think that's might happen at All Out, maybe. That could be the case. I definitely agree.
And to do that, he's going to turn on Chicago. It's going to be beautiful. That would be the best. I would fucking love that.
Yeah, you see, he even said that too. See, he's turning heel.
Thing, though, like, I want something to happen, and obviously he's coming back. I just don't know. Is MJF going to be come back like, oh, you were my hero this whole time. You're the prick I knew you could be. You know, like, how's that going to work? Are they going to be a tag team? Like, I mean, have to wait.
I could see it happening. I could see MJF coming back and teaming with Punk. The way I would do it, though, is, there's a lot of rumors right now that CM Punk is not happy in AEW and he might leave, right? So why not play off on that? I would have Moxley. I wouldn't have Moxley versus CM Punk. I would have Moxley going against a mystery opponent, have it be MJF, and then CM Punk screws Moxley and lets MJF win the title. And then MJF could be like, look, you know what? We disagree on a lot, but just like you, I don't fucking want to be here too. So let's fucking team up and destroy this place.
I don't hate that. And, there's a whole lot of you're a lot like me when I was your age.
Yeah.
So that is definitely, you get a good script writer that can detail that out, and I would be into it.
Yeah.
Well, if we go to this territory, is it would it be too weird? Would it be too weird for Tony Khan to do his best Vince impersonation? It's like, you're fired, CM Punk. You're fired.
No, he wouldn't. He can never be like this.
You're fired.
He can never be like Vince McMahon. I tell you that. Nobody can be Vince McMahon. I tell you that. But I said, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I honestly thought that CM Punk was going to turn heel by like selling the injury, and then I thought he was going to be like playing possum. John Moxley walks up to him and he rolls him up for a quick like schoolboy or a quick small package, 1, 2, 3, and CM Punk just dodged out, but it was like with nefarious means, and he was like hopping around like he's fine, but he like tricked Moxley. I was surprised that like they really played it off like he was really injured, but because Taz instantly said, oh, did CM Punk come back too quickly? Just like Chris said, like I feel like they definitely were trying to keep the narrative to protect Punk. Like,
and Jim Ross really drilling it in, like, Taz, how dare you take this win away from Mox? And Taz was Taz felt like he was like actually offended. Like, I would never do that.
Yeah, he said, of all people, why would I do that? No, I'm just saying, I would never do that.
I felt that was a shoot for real. I felt like he didn't expect Jim Ross to defend CM that way, and he had to defend himself.
I thought there was gonna be a Taz mission on JR.
Yeah, so. I felt like Jim Ross some shit.
Yep.
Oh man, like I said, I don't know what direction is going with it, but I mean, when I say, they're trolling us for sure. It now gets everybody invested. Okay,
I mean, we don't know what we don't know, and that is why I'm most interested in it. That's like the big fucking like. All will be answered, and I'll be on stage while it happens. It's gonna be so bad.
Bro, I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna take AW to you while you're playing.
I know, right?
Rock out, but have your phone out watching it.
Yeah, if we were playing a dive bar, which we're not, I'd be watching the TV screens for sure.
But I will be
do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Now let's get to the main event of the AEW to the end of the year for Dynamite, and that is very brief, of course. The United Empire versus Death Triangle. And man, I love it. Ospreay and Rey Fenix, give me that all day. I will be happy. I don't care. I know a lot of people hate the whole flippity, flappity, flippity, whippity. Yeah, it's fine. I know everybody has a different taste. I have mine. Everybody has their own. To each his own. I like modern wrestling too, besides old school. But I like this chemistry they have. So I really enjoyed it. And then what I did enjoy more is finally, for God's sakes, we see Kip fucking Saban now. Kip Saban is now going to see him going after, of course, that all Atlantic World title against Pac. I'm really happy about that. Good for Kip. Finally, we get to see his ass back because it's been a while. So I'm really, really happy to see that. And yes, Kip, and the fans were like, Kip, Saban. Like,
it was just so poorly explained, though. Like, they never once mentioned in the last, 2 fucking years that he had that boxing incentive in the crowd that's Kip Saban.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we all know that Kip Saban been sitting in the crowd. No one mentioned that for fucking 2 years.
Is it on the YouTube version of Dark, or is it only been on
social
Twitter?
Social media,
but they can't expect people to be listening.
I did not know.
He posted it himself.
I know, but still,
but you have to address it. You can't have a main storyline like that only be fed through Twitter feed.
Hey,
come on, every viewer that watches AEW is following Kip Sabian on Twitter. Like,
have you guys seen Fairly Odd Parents? This is
of course.
No.
He's that dude's dad. He's the blonde kid with braces' dad.
Oh,
Fairly Odd Parents. Because he has the back. He's just Kip Sabian's the dad of that guy.
I just love how Excalibur acts like we're all supposed to know. He's like, and we all know that Kip Sabian's been sitting in the crowd with a box on his head for the last. It's like, no, because this is the first time it's mentioned in the. Yeah. We always see him, and I knew, but still, it's like no one ever mentioned it. So now it's like, oh well, you guys should have known. Like, come on.
Yeah. And
what the fuck?
I find the lack of Penelope Ford disturbing. That's you got to have a 3-1 ratio with Sabian to Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but yes, overall I enjoyed it. Now we got Matt's dream come true, and I'm pretty sure again, Matt, he was happy when he saw the outcome of it. I know you did, because now it's finally happening. Not an Empire versus, of course, the Elite. Now Kenny Omega. We did see, of course, what happened the aftermath off the air. Kenny Omega pretty much telling, Will Ospreay, you can't even fill my shoes at all of what I've done.
And could I cover this right off the top?
Go ahead. Hold on. Before I do, I need to play your fucking. Go ahead.
You see, you guys, it's all part of that next level consciousness. You see, I said during the match, I said this to JR. He said Buddy Rogers said this. There's only one diamond in the wrestling business, and that diamond's name is Kenny Omega. Buddy Rogers said that. Yes, Buddy Rogers did say that about Kenny Omega. But there's a lot of other ridiculous points on commentary during this match. Excalibur is like, Taz, how do you ground a high flyer like Pac? And he's like, and then JR's like, use a 38 special revolver, use a blackjack, use a bar of soap wrapped up. Like, JR was going off all kinds of weird shit. And then as for Kip Sabian, I wanted to say this about Kip Sabian. He was on maternity leave. Kip Sabian was having Penelope Ford's baby. He was pregnant. I wanted to make all those quotes. But overall, when it comes to haters of high flying, you have to think this is, if you could compare this to something in an action movie, don't think in terms of wrestling. Think in terms of fighter planes in a movie, like Dunkirk.
If only there was one to reference that we all understood.
Mm-hmm. So, a lot of reference. I'm trying to remember. It's what, Star Wars? What, like? My brain is.
It's still kind of relevant too.
What's
up with that?
Oh, Top Gun. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that. I was
like, they just made the movie.
I know.
Highway to the Danger Zone. Highway to the Danger Zone. But yeah, it's these are fighter planes. Pac and Will Ospreay, you know, like I'd be down to see Will Ospreay 1-on-1 with anyone on Death Triangle. Those are great matches just to enjoy, you know. And then I think the kind of in the grounded role was more Aussie Open. They were really doing all the ground and pound. Let's ground these airplanes. Let's shoot them down. You know, let's do anti-aircraft. And overall, you know, I definitely give this match like 10 sake bottles, you know, to the max. I give it 10 Ramune sodas. You know, I don't know. Is it tough to get Ramune sodas out there in New York? It's the little Japanese soda where you push down.
Oh, you put the marble in it.
Mike, have you ever had that?
I only see it in like Japanese, like this Japanese store in the mall. They have it, but like you don't really.
Yeah, they got it there
in stores and stuff. But yeah, I had that.
I give this match 5 Ramune bottles right here. off top.
All right.
You know, pop
Love
top.
it.
But yeah, and then as for the after promo, are you guys ready? Well, I'll let you guys go and then we'll talk about the promo.
No, you already, you know, finish it off. Go for it.
Well, I'll say Chris is 100% right about what Kenny was mentioning in the promo because he's in that role, that EVP role. So he kind of like has a wink and you know what? I'll say this is Kenny Omega, one of Kenny Omega's best promos I've ever seen. You know, he showed this night that he's just as good as promos and he doesn't need me to speak for him all the time. You know, it was full of definitely lots of funny winks and nods, especially like, you know, you can't fill my shoes when you can't even fit grown out of your diaper, Will Ospreay. You know, but with get out of my brain, Don, get out of my brain. But you know, I'll say that.
I'm watching a possession here.
Yeah, it is a possession with Don Callis in my brain.
Director, take it away. Director.
I mean, good match, and I can't wait to watch this glorious spot fest that's coming at All Out. Right? It's not next Wednesday, correct?
It is
next Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, cool, perfect, even better. Yeah, it's gonna be a spot fest. It's gonna be like a cat watching 6 red beans just. Yeah, I mean, match was good. That's who I think the right winners should have been. Because we've seen, I mean, we can't Death Triangle versus the Elite. We've seen enough. We've never seen Aussie Open or United Empire versus the Elite, at least in AEW. I don't even know who's going to win this. This is one of those things where, like, are they stateside? Are those contracts signed? Are Aussie Open here to stay? If so, I can see them winning this for sure. They are the bad guys, and it's a lot easier to boo a bad guy than to cheer a good guy. The post-airing speech, which go on YouTube and watch. It's pretty funny. I know that I believe it's Will Ospreay who sometime in the past couple of years hired like an acting coach because he thought that he was good everywhere but the mic. And I think this was an outlet for him to get some off-air practice on the mic. He still needs to stop saying brava every 12 seconds. I think he kind of got that nervous tick where you say too many times and then you just can't stop yourself. And I think that's what happened with him. So it's good that this was kind of practice off air. A missed opportunity was when Ospreay said, I just had a 5-star match. And Kenny's like, that's cute. I had the first 6 stars. So nice try. Kenny didn't drop that line. He could have said it. Would have been perfect.
Touche.
But the one thing I like that Kenny said that I think Matt might have agreed with, I think, was when Kenny put the mic down and said, no heat. I promise, no heat. We're cool, no heat. And then he walked away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was making fun of what's happening in the environment or if it was a worked shoot to kind of fuck you to Ospreay that I'll beat you in the ring so we don't need to have heat. I just thought that was funny. I thought that was really.
I think the crowd found it funny too because I heard you could hear the laughter after he said it too.
Yeah, so I think that was a little bit of nod to all of the things that are happening right now, where Kenny is kind of the ring general and the locker room leader, and you need someone like that to be back there. I mean, hopefully he's responsible with his mediation. He sees a conflict, he's like, "Hey guys, let's talk this out." That's who I am as a person. I'd rather talk that shit out before it gets worse. I think that's what that was. I think that was a little bit of that kind of playing itself, and I'm excited for Dynamite already. It's already. This one just ended. Let's go next week.
Yes. And just to add that of course, I think with the Trios finals, I'm going to say very brief. I want to just get it out. It's going to be Dark Order and fucking the Elite. It's going to happen. We'll get it. But I'm going to save that actually for next Wednesday better because I'd rather save it. Tomorrow is Rampage. We're going to see what happened in Rampage. No spoilers. We already know. Well, some people know, but not all of them. But I want to see it because I want to see how the story develops. But I'm not. We're not Meltzer. We're not Alvarez. We're not Wade Keller. We're not none of those pieces of shit. We just want to. We want to be a fan, of course. We're fans. We're not dirt sheets. But yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. But El Dinero, the floor is yours.
This matchup was amazing. I honestly thought, like, when I saw the time, like, they had like 30 minutes to just like go balls to the wall. I thought that, this matchup was going to end and then we would see something in the end that would lead to Moxley's opponent at All Out. Like, after this, like, I thought there was going to be a segment after this matchup just because of how much time was left on the show. But I'm even more happy that we didn't, and this matchup got enough time to really tell a good story. And they went about, like I said, like 30 minutes, and it was just amazing. I love that the United Empire won. I feel like when we were talking about Trios titles a couple months ago, we thought it would be perfect for either the House of Black or Death Triangle. Now we're seeing that there's other trios out there that I would like to see win that initial Trios titles. I really am a big fan of Ospreay. Shout out to him. He just went through a grueling G1, and then he's already out here pulling out matches like this. And as for next week, I'm extremely excited for this. Like Dan said in the comments, I definitely think that this is going to lead to a singles matchup between Kenny and Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. So that'll be amazing. But yeah, this was just great. And like Chris said, like, shit, can it be Wednesday already? Because I am all ready for the Elite versus the United Empire. I honestly think that it's going to be great. The promo afterwards was something that I thought should have been aired on TV. I thought that you could have, the matchup was great, and I love that they gave him enough time, but you could have ended it, I guess, like 3 or 4 minutes earlier to have that promo air on TV just to really, like, make sure people tune in next week. Because that promo showed, even if you don't know the history between Omega and Ospreay, that promo showed that there was a lot of bad blood. And since this did pop a big number, this was in the millions. If the millions that watch this show got to see that promo, which they're not because it's on YouTube, then I think that it would have led to yet another big rating next week. But since they didn't, it was put on YouTube. I think that that's going to maybe hurt the rating. I don't know. I don't really take, the ratings too big into consideration. I just think that if they show that the millions of people that were watching would be intrigued to watch it next week. But definitely this main event was amazing. It had to deliver. It definitely had to deliver just for the simple fact that you had a title unification matchup in the middle of the show. So if that was not the main event, your main event must have been a banger, and I'm glad that it delivered. So I really enjoyed this, and the more we see Will Ospreay and AEW, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even JR, what he was saying, oh man, Tony Khan, sign him. Checkbook.
Like,
I heard it. He's like, you got the checkbook, Tony. Sign him.
And over here, Tony wants no one tampering with his talent, but let's go sign a signed New Japan guy.
Exactly. Right? Like, really? Why would you say that, JR? Like, come on.
Come on, man. That's JR being JR. JR has no filter.
You ground him with a blackjack. He said you ground him with a blackjack or a 38 special. My God.
JR and Arn Anderson pulling out the guns in their own age.
Definitely. Oh, what a dynamite. That is right, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a hell of a show.
It was, man.
All the intrigue with Mox and CM Punk, and then you have an amazing main event like that. Definitely up there for me. Like, I would say this is top 5 Dynamites, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like I said, man, now we're investing. We have to see what's the outcome next week. We still have to do predictions. Predictions for All Out. We'll do that next week. Man, August 8th is last topic of the night to end this show, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, not much to say. All I want to say is stay tuned tomorrow. Watch, make sure NWA 74. That is right. 2 nights of events. It's going to have, of course, this incredible, fantastic event, 2 nights, which I'm looking forward to see. This is going to be very interesting. Of course,
Yo,
one.
really? Is that the fucking Funkzilla? Is he back?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
Who is
Tyrus?
hiring that psycho?
He's challenging for the NWA World Title. That's gonna be happening night 2.
That's insane.
Yes, and of course Nick Aldis Gordon. You have
Funkasaurus. Sorry, not Funkzilla. Same thing. Whatever.
Funkasaurus. And of course, you have they have a lot of great matches, and then of course they're going to be introducing.
Oh, and earlier I just realized. I just started to interrupt. I need to apologize. Earlier I throw shade at Valkyrie. I meant to say, who's the
Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was talking shit on. Not Taya's innocent, sweet young woman. I was throwing shade at Tessa Blanchard about being a heat magnet backstage.
Oh, okay.
You. I know and no one would ever know I said any of this, but I still feel right in my heart to correct that.
No worries. But yeah, I think I'm intrigued with this one. Camille and Taya from night 1. That's going to happen on Friday. So that's going to
They had a banger in XPW. If you guys don't watch XPW, that matchup was a banger between them.
Yes. So this is going to be very interesting. Bully Ray is going to be wrestling too in a tables match. So he'll be there. I forgot the name of the guy who's wrestling.
This don't look too bad, actually.
That's Mike Knox from the new ECW.
Oh, that's Mike Knox. Okay,
Where's
what?
Kelly
That's
Kelly?
Mike Knox. Okay,
yeah. He just needs Kelly Kelly.
And of course, I think
EC3 is there.
EC3 will be there. Yep, he will be there too. So Matt Cardona,
Controlling your narrative.
That will happen this week in NWA 74.
Shout out to Homicide being there too. That's gonna be awesome.
I'm looking forward. Yes, on Fight TV. I think they're gonna have a free show on YouTube, like a pre-celebration matches. They're gonna be having around 7:00 Eastern Standard, I think, or 8:00, and then right after that they'll head on to the show. But it's gonna be very interesting to see. And did you see the VSK is now the Trust? And now Trust Butler. Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, on AEW Dark.
Yeah,
he's the butler of the Trust Busters.
Horrible. Oh no, I did see that, as a matter of fact. So yes. This is I'm looking forward to. Make sure you guys tune in this weekend on Fight TV to watch these 2 incredible events. Night 1, the 27th. Night 2, the 28th. So Saturday, Sunday, as a matter of fact, excuse me. But Friday, they're going to have a YouTube free show for everybody to watch. So that is for sure. So make sure you subscribe to NWA to watch that. And I'm looking forward. We'll probably do a little recap of it. But there's so much shit going on in professional wrestling next week because we got to cover Dynamite. We got to cover All Out for predictions and the Night of the Castle for WWE. That's another one. This is the biggest test for Triple H, Papa H. Now that you got SummerSlam out of the way, now this is your chance to shine on your own pay-per-view, which I think he'll do fantastic work. He's never disappointed in any takeovers, so he can do it here too as well. So I am really, really happy. And tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. Hopefully tomorrow, and depending on the regular schedule, we'll probably do the top 5, which will be top 5 Triple H moments. That is right, because that is the director's idea. So we're going to go with those Triple H moments. And yes. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, to tune in. And we want to go ahead and appreciate all of you guys. But because, it's about that time. It is. Sorry, Matt's favorite time. Yes, his favorite outro of all time. Not Vader time. Not even. No, Matt. Not that one either. It is your.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Oh,
That
those
is right.
Autobots. Those Autobots make me crack up every time. Almost like when I was Cyrus the Virus.
I like Cyrus.
Me too.
You like Cyrus?
Me too.
I like. Oh, I mean, I did, the Right to Center was bad, but I liked him in, as like the network in ECW.
I am the
That's
network.
That's right. So
I like this little feud with Joel Gertner.
Yeah, dude, Joel Gertner. We could just do a top 5.
Well.
I may not be Joey Styles, but my manhood reaches for miles.
Gertner.
Yes, and I'm looking forward. Hopefully, you guys. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it. I think you'll say it. Whenever you guys settle with that. But yes,
Yeah, we'll announce that next week for sure.
yes, that's for sure.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, keep it a secret because it's supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
But don't forget, subscribe. I appreciate you, Dan. That's right. I appreciate
Thank you, Dan.
Of course, subscribe. Of course, follow us on our YouTube channel and our social media platforms. Follow Circle Debate, follow Wrestling Delorean, and Fate Destroyed as well. Because, yes, once again, for our SoCal native fans, once again, September 4th, Labor Day weekend. Come on. You have a Sunday off. You come and enjoy yourself. Have a couple of drinks. Have a cup of, enjoy a couple of the haters out there. Of course, it is a couple. Of course, when you get drunk, there's, when you get drunk, there's a couple of haters that talk shit all the time. This is how it is, unfortunately. But yes, Fate Destroyed next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, at the Whiskey Go-Go in Hollywood. And make sure you guys go, because I'll be there with Matt Callis and, the rest of the crew. Will be there supporting, of course, the director himself.
I wish I was there, honestly.
And he's going to be rocking it right now with me.
I ain't stopping you. It's all ages.
I ain't that young.
But yes, I am looking forward to seeing the director kicking ass, rocking out with his beep out. So I mean, we're TVMA, but still, want to protect the director's beep. So
You can say hot dog or sausage.
see, I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to use those words.
Squirrel.
I say glizzy.
Okay. But we'll be back next week. We'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And just very quick, so gonna do it out of the way by the audio platforms en español. Señoras y señores, muchas gracias por escucharnos aquí en Circle Debate y le agradecemos por todo, pues el apoyo y el soporte que le da a ustedes a nosotros. No se olviden de suscribir aquí con nosotros y también sigue aquí a mi familia, sigue el director, el Chris Kennedy, el Fate Destroyer, su banda, y también si están aquí en Los Ángeles, vayan a The Whiskey septiembre 4, el próximo domingo, a verlo. Es gratis el evento para ver a el banda Fate Destroyer y para que puedan ver el director, el señor Christian Kennedy, para que puedan ver a él. Eso sí, es Fate Destroyer. Y también no se olviden de suscribir también y seguir a nuestra familia Dinero, el Wrestling Delorean Podcast, y lo escuchan cada domingo, cada lunes, miércoles y viernes. No se olviden, a las 7 de la noche de 6 de la tarde centro y 4 pacífico. Saludos a toda Latinoamérica, México, Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, Colombia, especially Colombia. Gracias, Colombia. And of course, Ecuador.
República Dominicana.
And Brazil as well. And República Dominicana y Puerto Rico. Gracias por todo, por el apoyo. All to our European listeners, thank you very much. Choose, we love you all, guys. And in the Philippines, of course, we love you guys too. Matt,
I wanna say this, especially day after tomorrow, the 28th House of Glory, Marufuji versus Eddie Kingston. Ooh, I'm pretty pumped up for that one. And if you wanna, if there's anyone after Naito that I want to see Moxley face, I wouldn't mind if Marufuji comes out. He's here in the US. Maybe he's booking this hotel a little extra stay. So I'm over the moon for that match. I'm beyond ready. I've been looking forward to it all month. I'm beyond excited. I'll be watching with you in the digital world. Mike, are you going to be front row? Should I look for you?
I'm fourth row.
So you know what you're going to wear? I'm
going to have a big ass sign that says subscribe to the Circle of Debate.
Yeah, there we go. Watch House of Glory on Fight TV.
Definitely
the 28th of August.
Yes, and you'll be seeing a vlog here on the channel because the Dinero will be vlogging for House of Glory. Yes, he will be attending this Sunday for the House of Glory matchup. And it's very, I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait
Thank
to see
you.
the
I'm
vlog.
definitely excited.
Let's see. Let the world, in English, anybody wants to take over English, let the people know.
That's done. Adios.
Oh my god!
Yeah, definitely subscribe to all the. Follow me on Instagram, MGC_ONK. If you want, yeah, onk. Yeah, Onk.
Yeah, you want to follow Onk, you can follow Onk. But yes,
Follow the
Of
Onk.
follow the Onk. Well, there you go. We'll see you guys tomorrow for top 5. We'll be back here, top 5 picks for the week. Top 5 Triple H moments. Tune in, same time, same channel, and we'll see you guys. Yeah, but remember, we don't just all here do.
Yeah, we don't just make wrestling podcasts. We make history.
Will
over and over,
make
over and over,
history.
over and